known for deep dish pizzas and long ivy-covered outfields, and brothers who play the blues. But now, get ready to rock the Rosemount Theater to its foundations. Because another chapter in Chicago's storied history is about to begin. As Badass invades the shores of Lake Michigan, and the Power Network shows Chicago what it really means to get money.
And now, Chicago comedy sensation and a gangster in his own right. Please put your hands together for Dave&Dave.
So now I feel like a real goof up here. Give it up one more time for Dave Wood be an amazing time. Are you guys ready for that? That's great. I'm personally psyched to be here, man, because like this event, it's all about individuals, you know, trying to work for themselves. It's an inspiring thing, you know. Like currently, I work at a sandwich shop downtown. My official title over there is sandwich artist. Which is weird because I don't remember any other artists have people tell them what to put on their art. Right? If I was a real sandwich artist, I get to choose what goes on your sandwich, and you have to figure out why I did it. That's what artists do. Fuck up a sandwich. Oh, dude, you guys put grapes on my ham sandwich. Oh, you guys deep. Just think about it. That's a humbling job, man. Because you'll do shows like this, you know, there's like 5,000 of you, and if it goes well, you walk off the stage feeling pretty good, you know, you feel kind of like a guy, you know, just, yeah! I'm the best guy! There's ever been a guy! The next day, you're in a sandwich shop. Every once in a while, there's a person from one of these shows who walks in the sandwich shop. I had a guy once who came in, he's like, oh man, you're that comedian from last night! I'm like, yeah, that's right, I'm that comedian from last night, you know? He's like, yeah, cool. I'll have a ham sandwich. Lay out the mail, funny guy. Just keep it light. It's a humbling job, man. People order sandwiches from me sometimes, like I'm foreign, you know? Just, hey! Are you ready? Okay. I think a ham sandwich with provolone cheese instead of Swiss cheese. You remember that? It's like, listen, lady, I got dreams, okay? I graduated from college, I consider myself to be an educated, informed human being. Please address me as such. She's like, your apron's on backwards and caught in the microwave. You're caught in the microwave. Bitch. I'm going in the back room and steal chips. I don't know how to deal with anger. Passive. They're huge boxes right in the back. Just get rid of them. Mess up the inventory. Very passive aggressive thing to do. When you're not making a lot of money, sometimes you gotta cut a little corner. I steal stuff all the time. Recently, I ran up on my groceries as bananas in the self-checkout. Do you guys know how to do that? All right, lesson one. Before you get money, let's get groceries, all right? If you want to know how to ring up groceries as bananas in the self-checkout, here's what you do. You take the item that you want to ring up as bananas, bring that to the self-checkout machine, face the label away from the scanner. Now the machine doesn't know what that is. It's like, hey, what is this thing? You just gotta be like, don't worry about that. That is bananas. Now you're paying for groceries at 69 cents a pound. Did you guys all learn something? Why did you learn something? That's good stuff. Let's not all go shopping all at the same time. All right, we need to stagger it if this is going to work. Crazy, we all just left here and went to the grocery store. We sold every banana in 5 seconds! How did we do it? I don't know. But I got caught! I was ringing up all my groceries with bananas. Banana. Right? Took it to this pasta sauce. I ring that up as bananas. God damn it, the self-checkout lady, she comes up, she catches me. She's like, sir, that is pasta sauce. That is not bananas. Right? Now I'm in a position where I have to pretend like that is a mistake that a human being can make. Oh, that's pasta sauce? This whole time? Guess I'm just one of those guys. Doesn't know what things are. What is this, an ocean? That's called shitty improv. What is this, an ocean? So I look at the rest of my bag. She's like, sir, there's not a single banana in here. Shit. I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail for saying things are bananas when they're not bananas. That's the weakest thing you can go to jail for, right? How do you get any respect from the other inmates? Man, what are you here for? Assault! Assault. What are you here for? What are you here for? Banana fraud. I say things are bananas when they're not. What's up, murder guy? Sign me up. On top of that murder list. Yeah. There is a murder list. Yeah. I told my mom that I do that I ring out groceries as banana. I think I just like antagonizing my mother. Do you guys? I remember that college education. I steal groceries now. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, but I mean, it's like, you know, she's like, well, are you still gonna do that? Are you still gonna ring up groceries as bananas? I was like, yeah. It's a fluke. At the one grocery store employee who gives a shit about their job, that'll never happen again. I know, because I've worked every minimum wage job there is. You know, you don't care. You know, I used to work in a department store. I saw a guy who just walked out with a bunch of coats. I didn't stop him. I was like, yeah, fuck this place. Take the coats, take some mittens, take the whole register. I don't care. Pay me $7 an hour. People are getting some coats. Right? Like, you ever see someone care about their job that they clearly should not care about? It's creepy. Hi, welcome to Jamba Juice. Would you like citrus squeeze, strawberry sunrise? We have them all. Ha-ha, we went to serve. Jeez. What do they do to you? Blink twice if you're in trouble. All right, you guys ready to start the show? This is an amazing show. I'm super psyched that you guys are here. Your first speaker, very nice lady, free spirit. She's got a great story. Let's give it up for Nicole Cooper, everybody.
My good friend Tracy Walker and I get a text message saying, hey girl, want to host a call? And I'm coming back from Target buying diapers. I pulled over to the side of the road and I'm like, trying to call Tracy and she's not answering. So I text Dave Chavez, I'm like, yeah, sure. And I'm trying to get a hold of Tracy to say, hey, what are we going to talk about? And it never happened. And we just hopped on the phone and we had a call with you guys. We had a conversation on that call. You guys, how many of you were on that call? And we encouraged you that no matter what you had to go through to get here, to do what? Get here. It's not ironic that we're in Chicago, we get here on Tuesday, and then there becomes this massive flood of rain, right? How many of you went through canceled flights? Some of you had to take 6 planes, lose luggage. We had Arthur and Peter stuck in Costa Rica for 36 hours. Did you do what you had to do to get here? Absolutely. You literally went through hell and high waters to get here. And that says a lot. And I want to talk to you guys about that tonight. Because I do believe in destiny. I don't believe that anything happens by chance. And just when we got here, you know, it's amazing because you get these opportunities to get on a stage. And of course, a lot of us want to try to figure out, what are we going to talk about? And the first person I encountered when I got here set the stage for what I understood this weekend meant. Tracy and I were standing in the lobby, I guess it was like Wednesday morning, and we had just come back from breakfast and doing something, and a young lady walked up to Tracy and was like, "Hi, I just want to say hi." And then Tracy was like, "Well, did you see Nicole?" And she was like, "Oh, yes, hi, Nicole. Hi, how are you? I emailed you." And she started talking to me about a conversation we had. And so we started talking a little bit about her being here. And I always ask people, "Well, where did you come from?" And she shared with me where she came from. And I said, "Well, how did you get here?" Because all the chaos was going on with the planes and everything. And she said, "Well, I took a train." I said, "Really? Well, who did you come with?" And she said, "Well, I brought my sister." And it was a young little girl up there playing on the computer. And so I said, "Okay, awesome. So are you guys in this hotel?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, are you going to check in?" And she said, "Well, honestly, we can't check in until Saturday." And so I said, "Well, what are you guys going to do until Saturday? It's Wednesday." And she said, "Oh, we're just going to sleep in the lobby." Okay, I'm a mom of two kids, okay? 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. And I look up and I see her little sister and I'm thinking, this little 7-year-old needs to go rest. They just got off an Amtrak train for 15 hours. They need somewhere to sleep. And I don't even remember her name. But what I did, I said, "Well, hey, we're on our way out. Take my key, go to the room and go rest. And we'll talk when I get back." Now, I'm from LA. I'm not from Beverly Hills, I'm from South Central. So the hood side of me said, "Are you crazy?" And then there's a little angel of God saying, "Nicole, it's all about service and helping others." So I said, "Okay." I went ahead and I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about, okay, what did I leave in the room that's better? Just in case. This is a little setup. And so we went out and we actually didn't get back until about 3:30 in the morning and we were exhausted. And so I didn't even want to make conversation. I was just gonna go to bed, I'll talk to you in the morning. And I noticed she was sitting up waiting for me to arrive. And as I'm getting dressed, I'm just asking, "What's your story?" And she said, "Well, I got an Empower 60 days ago and I came here, I knew that I needed to come here because I need something. And I just said, if I show up, I'll figure out if this is gonna work or not." She said, "I've been in 60 days, I haven't made any money, and this is gonna be the determining factor of if this is what I'm going to do." And so when I heard her say that, I was sleepy, and the hood side of me said, "Okay, we'll get together tomorrow." But the other angelic side of me said, "Sit down and listen and talk to her about her story." So we sat down and we ended up talking for about an hour, and I found out she'd been raising herself since she was 14. She's been through a series of events, the oldest of 7 kids, fighting her way through life, trying to find a chance. And she said, "I know I'm smart." She said, "I know I have what it takes." She said, "I go on these jobs and I get these jobs and I learn everything before they even have to teach me. I'm really good at what I do." She said, "But it's not a challenge. I want a challenge." But then she turned around and says, "Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stick and power out because I haven't made any money. I don't know what's going on. It's not working." And so she started also telling me, "But you know what? I'm meditating now." She was telling me she's meditating and she's smiling all the time and all these spiritual encounters she's had. And so I pointed out to her, I said, "Well, I see that you're trying to determine if your success, if you've accomplished anything in the past 60 days based on if you've made any money. But you just sat here and told me that you're 23 years old, every experience in your life until this moment has been chaos. And you've been looking for change. And you're not being challenged. And in 60 days, since you've been in Empower with your amazing leaders, she's on John Morosa's team, your amazing leaders have been pouring into you, teaching you things. You're now experiencing life like you've never experienced it before, but you're ready to quit because you haven't made your first dollar." I said, "I want you to understand that your success," and I gave her a quote that I learned a long time ago, that riches is what you have, but wealth is who you are. Riches is what you have, but wealth is who you are. And I said, in you is a burning desire because you went through hell and high water to get here, willing to sleep on a couch for 3 nights because you knew you had to get something. And this is the environment that has been cultivated in preparation for this moment for you to get exactly what you needed. And that's why you're here." I said, I know you need to make money. Her situation is a little bleak and she's a little desperate in her situation. I said, "But understand that this is exactly where you need to be to take you to the next level and get you what you need." I shared that story with you because I was reminded of myself in my journey. For those of you who don't really know me and don't know my story, like I said, from South Central Los Angeles. And I grew up in an environment in the 80s, a lot of drugs, a lot of gangs. Had a loving environment, but when you live in a certain community, there's just certain things that you succumb to. And I went through a period in my life at the age of 13 where I became very rebellious. Drugs, alcohol, fighting, getting kicked out of 5 schools in a year, getting arrested for going back on those campuses for doing different things. And I spent the rest of my high school years trying to make up for all the failures that I made, but I was at a point where I didn't feel like I had a purpose in life. I didn't feel like there was anything designed for me to do because I thought I was dumb, because I wasn't good in school, or I didn't fit in, because I was weird. Well, something happened. I was in an abusive relationship, and this guy basically told me, I'll take your life if you leave me. And he attempted to. And I said, I gotta do something to get out of this situation. And I started applying to colleges, and it just so happens out of all the rejection letters I got one letter that said, you've been cordially invited on academic probation to attend. It was Tuskegee University. Went to that school, ended up having a journey, and I'm standing on this stage today. Why am I sharing that with you? Well, as she was sharing her story with me, I began to think about how many of us think about life. We think life is like a road trip. Anybody took a road trip here? We have people who I know drove from Canada. People drove from all over. Some people drove up from Florida, California. But you know, when you're planning a road trip, what you do is you sit down and you say, okay, I live in Los Angeles and I'm trying to get to Chicago. And what do? We go to Google Maps or whatever directory we need, and we get the directions, and we get on the highway and we come here. And many of us feel like our life should be like a road trip. You have a destination that you want, you get the directions, and you just get there. But as I'm listening to her share her story, I started realizing that our life is similar to my most favorite show in the whole wide world. Any Amazing Race fans in here? I'm a big fan of The Amazing Race. It's a trip all around the world, and it gives you an opportunity to compete. And you have different scavengers, like a scavenger hunt. It's a scavenger hunt race. And what you basically do, I think it's like 10 or 12 teams, and they start off, this year they start off at LA at the Griffith Observatory, and they give you a clue of what you need to do. They give you a certain amount of cash, and they tell you to go and get there. Whatever you have to do to get there, and follow the clues that we give you. And then there's different processes in that race. There's certain times where you might leave a passport or things like that, and you end up having to go back. There's things that happen in that process. But the way that the Amazing Race happens is there's different legs of the race, okay? I don't know how many it is, it's like 10 or 12 legs of the race. And you're set up to have, the first person that gets there, they always get a prize. Well, when you're going through the different legs of the race, they have these different things called express passes. That if you end up being the first person to the destination, they give you an express pass, and that lets you bypass one of the processes, one of the legs of the race, so that you can skip everyone else and get to the next level. And as I was listening to her story, I started thinking about that, and I said, you know what, our life is like the Amazing Race. See, many of us, we want to hurry up and get to that destination, and for most of you in here, you determine it by what? What's your destination for the most part? Money, right? Like, I want to make a whole lot of money. I get a lot of people. I only got the blog, but I want to make $10,000 in the next 30 days. What can I do? Well, the first thing you can do is get a calculator. Do the math and tell me how many things you got, how many people, how many blog systems, sales that you have to make to get to 10 grand. And are you willing to work that hard? Or you come all in, right? But we often get a lot of people who predict everything by money. And in this business, we get started. We get excited, we see people here with the big checks, we write our first blog post, and we say, where's my check? You told me that I was going to be rich. I did 5 blog posts, post 2 things on Facebook, and I shot 1 video, and I haven't made 10 grand yet, right? You guys don't do that though, right? Not you. It's not the people that come to these things, it's the other people. But we have that idea that you start something and instantly you get those results. Like a road trip, you'll drive a little bit, you'll do a couple of things, you'll get to your destination. But the truth of the matter is, guys, is your life is like the Amazing Race. There's different legs of the race that you have to run.